Hello everyone. I have designed this course for all the users who are new to Terraform and wanted to understand how Terraform can help while building an infrastructure on various platforms like AWS, Azure, GCP. By the end of this course, you will have the basic understanding of how Terraform can be used to build an infrastructure on AWS. You will have the basic understanding of Terraform commands. You will understand how the Terraform modules work and how you can use the Terraform state file as the remote so that other people also can use it. And at the end, we will create the sample AWS architecture. So let's get started. So first we'll see what is Terraform. So Terraform is a tool which is used to build your infrastructure. You can say it is used to achieve what we call infrastructure as code. So as you can see in this diagram, you will be having one template file and you are creating lot of resources on any platform. So lot of servers, lot of security groups, subnets, everything you are created using code. So Terraform provides that functionality or that capability that you can code everything and then just use that file to just deploy it on any server or on any to create any infrastructure. Terraform also follows the same CI/CD pipeline, like you will store your code in GitHub repo and developers will commit their code there. There would be some unit testing for that code, and then Jenkins, it will run the pipeline, and at the end, it will deploy your infrastructure on your AWS accounts or wherever you want. And it is popular because it's a cross platform tool. Like same thing can be used for all other platforms also, like AWS, GCP, Azure. All other cross platforms can use the Terraform. And the Terraform language is declarative. What do you mean by declarative? Where we just specify the desired output, what we want, and we don't provide details how we want to achieve that. So, what does that mean? You will have the current state and it will just compare, and accordingly, it will just give you, okay, this is what you wanted. So, in Terraform, also, we will just provide this is an EC2 instance that we want. We don't provide how we want. So, it will just compare what you have and what you wanted, and accordingly, it will create that. In Terraform, it stored everything in the Terraform state file that we will explore in this section more also. So now first do the Terraform installation. So for the Terraform installation, you can get the software from their official documentation site, and then you need to do the unzip of that software. Once it is done, you need to basically configure it like we configure the Java home, we'll put it on our bash profile, right? So same way we will do it, we will just export this in our bash profile. And after that, your Terraform installation is done. So as you can see, now I am checking the version of the Terraform. So I have installed 0.13.3 version. This is the latest version of the Terraform as of today. Now we will do some testing. I mean, we'll just test our Terraform installation is successful or not. So I am creating some test directory here, and there I'll just create one template file. So all Terraform is, I'm just creating a blank files, and all template files has extension of .tf. And now I will run it. So you can see, so after this, if you are getting these changes, it means your Terraform installation is successful. Now you can proceed further. So these are some basic commands for Terraform. Terraform init, this is the first command that we have to use to initialize your working directory. It just initialize what you have coded. Terraform plan, it shows you what your template file will do. Like as soon as you run this command, it it will just provide you what your template file is going to do. So it is recommended to use before you actually run the apply command, so that any accidental deletion of any resource you can, okay, because you know what is going to happen before you actually do it. So apply, as I mentioned, it will create the resource as per the configuration in the template file, and destroy to destroy the resources. Validate, it will actually check the syntax of your files if it is correct or not. Terraform graph. Actually, this is good to see the image of your infrastructure, how it will look like. So let's explore this more. Now we will configure AWS credentials. So we need to use the AWS secret keys to create resources on AWS. So for that, you need to generate the security credential for your user and then configure it on the server from where you will be running your Terraform commands. Why do we need to do this? Because you do not want to hardcode your access key or the secret keys on the GitHub repo. So we will configure it on the server directly. So let's see how we can do that. So you got your secret keys. After that, you will log into your server and you will run AWS configure command. This will ask you the access key ID and it will prompt for the secret access. Right now, I'm putting any random values, but you can use it yours. Once this is done, in this folder, this aws.aws, you will find that it has created the credentials folder. It has created the default profile and it actually stores your username and password. So this is how you configure the AWS credentials, and this is required. Okay, so now we will create the EC2 instance. So this is the sample first code that we will be doing it here. So how we can do that? So we will always use the variable file. So we will call it as a vars.tf, where first thing we need the reason, like where do you want to create, and the AMI for your EC2 instance, right? So this AMI, you can get it according to the region or according to the server you want. So this is the sample Amazon Linux boxes, but if you want other, then you can get the AMIs for those. And this is the code to create the EC2 instance. So first you need to provide the AWS, like the provider is AWS. And the second configuration is you are creating the EC2 instance where you just provided all these details. What you want, T2 micro, your tags, everything, and how you access the variable also. This is very important. So I have declared the variable here, and this is how you can use it, var.region, var.ami. So this is just a sample of EC2 instance. Now we will create it and see how it works. So let's do the demo of this. So I have this GitHub repo that I have cloned it on my instance. And this is my sample example. You can also try to do this. If you are the beginner, yeah, it will definitely help you. So now I am doing the plan. So you can see that this is what you will get. So you always have to do the initialization before you can actually run the plan. So it is now doing the initialization. And now we will do the plan. Plan will provide me what this template file is going to do on my AWS account. So it says one to add and it will provide you all the details. And now we will apply the changes. So it is actually creating the EC2 instance. So as you can see, the EC2 instance is created. Now we will see on the AWS console. So you can see this test instance is created like this. And the same way you can just destroy it now. Terraform destroy. So this will destroy your EC2 instance also. You can see this terraform.tf state file. So it always create the state file that I am talking before also. And right now it is creating locally. And this state file has all the details of your EC2 instance, what it does, right? It stores everything. So now let's just destroy it because we have just created it for the demo purpose. So now we have destroyed it, and you can see this test server, it is doing the termination. Okay. So now the next thing, we will see how we can maintain that Terraform state file remotely, basically. So how we see that Terraform state file by default is stored locally. But when you are storing it locally, then how other people can use it? If you are working in a team, then you want that file to be shared across your team, right? Because you are not going to create an infrastructure for each of the developers. Infrastructure is always the same, right? I mean, everybody is using the same server. So that is the reason we need to store it in S3 bucket. S3 bucket is the good place to store it. And now when we are storing the state file remotely, then obviously multiple people can access it at the same time, right? I mean, I am doing some changes and some other developers also doing the same change at the same time. Then how Terraform is going to handle it? So for that, we need some kind of mechanism like the lock. If I am doing something, then nobody else can do that. Okay. So in order to set up Terraform to store their state file remotely, you need three things. First, you need S3 bucket. You need Terraform S3 backend resource. We will explore it in the next section. What does that mean? And we need DynamoDB, which is used for the locking mechanism, which is used to have the locking mechanism in place. So now let's explore it. So in this my GitHub, I have created this main.tf file. Here you can see I have a code for AWS S3 bucket. It is creating the bucket. And I have code for the DynamoDB. It is creating the DynamoDB. Now I will log into my server from where I am running all my examples. I will just go to create S3. And now I'll just do the initialization first. So it is now actually doing the initialization. And then I will do the plan just to make sure what this change is going to do. So you can see it is going to add two changes. And now I will apply those changes. After this, I would be able to see one S3 bucket and one DynamoDB table got created. So now just let's see it. You'll go to your services, you go to S3, and here you can see your bucket is created. And now we will see the DynamoDB table. So this is how it's got created. Now the second that part I was talking, Terraform backend resource, right? So this is how you will use it. Now you created the remote state file, S3 bucket, and the DynamoDB. Now how you will use it? So in your actual main file, you are going to put this details, like you provide backend is S3, this is the bucket, this is your Dynamo table. You will provide all these details in your main.tf file, so that next time when you will run it, your code is going to use this bucket to store the state file. So now next we will see Terraform modules. What is Terraform modules? So modules, we are used to group multiple resources. And modules is the best way to organize your code in a proper way. So like in this example, we will be creating the VPC and subnet. So we are calling those as two modules. As you can see in this diagram, one is subnet and one is VPC. And under that, you will be having the specific code related to these modules. So this is what module is. So next thing is how you will use modules, right? So I mentioned that we are going to create VPC and subnet, right? So first thing, how you are going to call it from your main file. So this is how you can call the module. You will be providing module, your name of the module, and the source from where you are calling. I mean your directory structure. So dot slash modules and the VPC. This is how you will be calling the module. This is the normal code of creating a VPC, how to create the VPC. And why do we need this output variable? So to create a subnet, you need a VPC ID, right? Subnet needs to be created inside a VPC. So this is how you declare the output variable. So here it's a AWS VPC, it's the instance dot what is the name and then dot ID, and it is getting stored under this variable VPC underscore ID. So this is how you actually use the output. Now we will see how we can use the module output. So as I mentioned, subnet module needs a VPC ID. So how you will use that first. So this is how you call the subnet. Here you can see subnet, source, and the VPC ID. Here you need to provide the variable basically. And this is how you can refer it, module, and what is your module name and the ID. And then in your actual subnet.tf file, you need to provide the variable here. If you don't provide, it will not work. And this is how then normal you use the variable. This is how you can use it, var.vpc underscore id. Now let's do it demo. Let's create it. So I have this VPC subnet. I have mentioned this is my main.tf file where you can see the code for VPC and is the code for subnet. And this is how you call your S3 bucket, your backend, right? To store the Terraform state file. And this is the module, subnets and the VPC. Okay. So now let's go to my server and I will go to subnet example. So here you can see I have all these details. I will first do the initialization and you can see it initialize my modules like this. And now first I will do the Terraform plan to see what it is going to do. And last I will do the apply. Before that, I wanted to show you my S3 bucket like we have created. So this S3 bucket currently is empty. But now when I run this, you will be seeing that now S3 bucket is not empty. It actually created my state file under the S3 bucket. So now you can see that it has created the state file in S3 bucket. And now we will see what it has created. So this is for the VPC. So you can see that it has created this VPC. And it also has created the subnet. Like you can see, this is the name of my subnet. Now we will just destroy this because this is just a demo application. So we are just going to destroy it. Now we will see how we can do the SSH connection to the EC2 instance. So when we create EC2 instance using Terraform, then how we can make sure that we can SSH to that EC2 instance. So for that, first you need to generate the public key for the user using SSH keygen. And then in your variable, this is how you can provide your public key. Like this is my public key path. This is how you can do that. And this would be your code to create an EC2 instance. Here you can see I am providing this AWS key pair, what is my key name and my public key. And when it actually create the EC2 instance, it uses those keys actually so that you can do the SSH. So this is the sample code for creating an EC2 instance with SSH enabled. So let's do this. So now we are creating the actual AWS architecture, which has lot of modules like IAM modules, VPC, network, subnet, security groups, EC2 instance, and at the end the S3 bucket. And I have all the modules here like this. You can check this code. It's in the GitHub repo. Now I will do the initialization of this code. As you can see, it did the initialization. Now I will do the plan. to validate what it is going to do on my AWS account, you see this error. This error is coming because this is my fresh instance and I have not generated the public key. It says that this public file does not found. So you need to do the SSH hyphen keygen here so that it generates the public key for this user. Now we will run it again. You can see it is going to add 19 changes. Now we are doing the apply. So it will actually create the structure over there. And you can see it has added the 19 resources. Now we will go to AWS and we'll just first validate our Terraform state file. You can see the size got increased. So it uses this Terraform state file. Now we will see what it has created. So we will go to EC2 and you can see it has created this web server. This got created using this Terraform code. Here you can see it got attached with the Terraform VPC and the subnet ID. It has created the security groups also. And in the security groups, I have put two inbound rules like this so that we can do the SSH and the outbound rules. You can change your inbound rules and outbound rules as per your need. But yeah, this is how you can do this. Now we will see the VPC also. So you can see that it has created this VPC here and all the details you can find related to the VPC here. Okay, so now we will see how we can do the SSH of this connection. So we'll just do this. So I have connected this web server. We'll copy the IP address of this server and we'll try to SSH it. We should be able to do this. So let's just try it. So you can see I am able to connect it. So this shows, and this actually by if we are able to do this, you can do any kind of automation. SSH is already there for your newly created instance. Now you can run any Ansible playbook or anything on those servers. So in my next videos, I will be talking about dynamic inventory, how we can use that, how we can integrate Terraform with Jenkins, so actually the whole CI/CD pipeline. Thank you.